Have you ever felt finally clear? I mean, you feel so good. You feel motivated. You just got your word. You feel like you can do the impossible. All things are working together for you. You feel aligned. And then a few days later, a few weeks later, a few months later, you're exhausted again. You feel like, how did I get back here? When you did all the work, when you did these things and you received that things were going to get better, but you end up back to feeling exhausted. Yeah, you're still praying, you're still believing God, you're still trying to do the right things, but it feels somewhat forced. It feels heavy. It feels like you're pushing instead of being carried. Well, these are signs that you're leaving from the flow of God. These are signs that instead of it, you're moving with a natural ease, you're feeling like you're having to orchestrate moments to do the right things. You're trying to orchestrate moments to just kind of push harder. You feel like if you don't push harder, you'll lose the momentum, right? But tonight we're going to deal with how to remain in the flow, how not to come out of that. So let me pray for you. I pray for you today. I decree and declare right now that you're returning to the flow of God, that even the small vaches that have destroyed the vine will pull you out of flow. I bring you back into the flow of God. I decree and declare that you are thriving, you are striving, and you are moving in the right direction like never before. I speak and decree and declare that this is your season, that Father is gracing you to carry through this season. He's gracing, He's ordering your steps in His word. I decree and declare right now that you are in the right pace of the Father, that He has caused things to be regulated. I decree and declare no longer does it feel forced, but you feel that you are in the flow of God. I speak and decree and declare right now that you're not behind your time, you're not behind your season. You would not fall behind or fall short, but you are re-entering the flow. I mean, that flow that you felt even years ago when you first got saved, when you got deliverance, whatever that was, and you felt the flow of God, that every day you was just in the flow of God. Even though you had to deal with life and you had to still move and function in this world, you felt at ease that you didn't have to stress, you didn't have to push it, you didn't have to force it. Well, welcome to day 16 of the 49-day Manifest Greater Reset Challenge. I am Lady Cordia Bishop, and tonight we're learning how to remain centered and how to live in the flow of God. See, yesterday we got centered, right? I hope you did your homework, okay? That's very important to do. And today we're going to learn how to stay there, okay? Through this journey of manifesting greater. I'm so grateful that you have decided to do this with me as we go through the 49-day Manifest Greater Challenge. Okay, so let's go right into today's lesson. What is the flow of God? What is the flow of God? The flow of God simply is alignment with His movements. So when your spirit agrees with the direction of God, you are in His flow. When your mind is not resisting the pace of God, you are in His flow. When your emotions are not interrupting obedience, you are in the flow. See, where the Word of God says, Jesus called it abiding. See, the flow of God, I just call it the flow, but it's really abiding in the will of God. John 15, verse 4 to 5 says, "Abide in me, and I in you. He who abides in me, and I am him, bears much fruit. For without me, you can do nothing." Remember, we talked about the seed that takes root, that becomes fruit. All right. So please have that in mind, because fruit comes from the flow. It comes from the flow. That farmer do not have to go and pay attention to every seed he put in the ground. As long as he watered the seed, it has enough sunlight. That's the water of the word. That's making sure you're making the environment a great environment to thrive in. Then you cannot, you don't have, that farmer don't have to force the fruit to grow. It doesn't have to force the harvest to be what it's going to be. It's not force. It comes from a flow, the natural order of things. And this is the natural order in the spirit world. So those who have been the church have engineered these things that we'd only feel the flow or the spirit of God when we're in church, but that's not the case. That flow comes in the order of things in the spirit realm. So once you are a believer and you are professing and you're practicing the will and the purpose of God for your life, you naturally go into the flow of God. It's nothing you have to beg for, nothing you have to plead for. It is a natural order of things. Now, when you start resisting the flow, you start being disobedient and start resisting the will and purpose of God. You start having a battle against God on what He wants you to do and how He wants you to do it and when He wants you to do it. That is when you are moving from the flow. And that is where things are forced instead of come with ease. So when you're in the flow, peace is present, number one. Okay. Direction feels simple. Number two. Provision meets obedience. Number three. Movement feels natural. That's number four. Number five is rest exists even while moving. You get rest. Even if you got 2 hours of sleep, baby, you feel like you slept 10 hours. Okay. When you are in the flow of God, it works out. Okay. Now, when you are out of the flow, what happens? These are the things that you'll begin to feel. Number one, you feel rushed, but then you feel stuck. Okay. You pray, but you feel anxious as if, is he going to answer the prayer? Is it going to work? It's going to work. Let me go ask somebody else. Let me go get somebody to prophesy. I mean, let me go to this conference. Let me go to this. When you begin to get out of the flow, that's when the anxiousness comes. That's when anxiety comes. You overthink decisions. You second guess it. I'm telling you, I was a queen of overthinking. I'm telling you, because after I was saved so long, I eventually got out of the flow of God because I felt like I got into a routine. I didn't allow Him to continue to mold and shake me and guide me, right? Religion will really engineer this sense of, okay, you go to Bible study, you go to church on Sunday, okay, you try to do right by people, you love God, you pray every now and then, or you pray a little bit more than every now and then, you help your neighbor, you witness to people, you go to work, you go home, you take care. So you get into this routine frame of mind that as if this is the only area of God or the only flow. I wouldn't even say flow, the only structure of living a Christian lifestyle or a believer's lifestyle. I try to refrain from using the word Christian, but a believer lifestyle. And so you begin to think this is it, that you don't get to enjoy yourself. You don't get to be who you were meant to be. You become this structured, rigid, serious human being that now has put themselves out of the flow. Matthew's 11:28-30 says, take my yoke upon you, for my yoke is easy and my burden is light. So if you feel heavy, you're not in the flow of God. This is a sign that I feel heavy, I feel heavy, I feel heavy. That is not the flow, because He said my yoke is easy, my burden is light. So if you thinking because you're a believer that your burden is supposed to be heavy, you're supposed to be going through all these trials and tribulations, guess what? That has been engineered by the church. That has been engineered by religion. That's not the flow of God. I'm not saying things are it's not gonna come to you, life won't happen, but I'm saying when it does happen, baby, you'll have a peace that surpasses all understanding. You'll be in a place of knowing, you'll be in a place of certainty that, hey, even though this may happen, yet I'm gonna trust in my Father. Even though this thing have come to mean it for my evil, guess what? It's gonna turn around, it's gonna flip around, it's gonna be meant for my good. That is when you're in the flow of God. So I want you to read Ezekiel 47, verse 3-5, and it's about the waters. It really gives you a depiction on how when God's people move deeper into the flow, not faster, into pressure. So I want you to go and read Ezekiel 47, verses 3-5, okay? And it's going to deal with understanding a deeper grasp of going into a flow of God, okay? Psalms 23 verse 2 says, He leads me beside the still waters. Still waters represent a regulated pace, not stagnation. We think it's stagnation, but it's not. It's not the same thing over and over and over again. Is a regulated pace. It's a pace that as soon as you kind of get used to it, Father switch it up for you. He switch it up on you. That's why there are times and seasons. Do not miss discerning your time and seasons. It means that in life things are going to change, things are going to transform, things are going to move, right? That's why he have given us the seasons, right? We go through winter, we go through fall, we go through summer, we go through in spring. We go through these seasons for a reason. Say, I go through seasons for a reason. I go through seasons for a reason. If you put that in the chat, I'm telling you, it's going to bless you and somebody else who reads it. Okay. I go through seasons for a reason. So even though we will go through seasons, when we are in the flow of God, we have taken on the yoke, right? He said, cast my yoke upon you because my yoke is easy and my burden is light. I don't worry about anything because it's been already created for you. So you shouldn't worry. Even though things will come, you will stay in the flow. Okay. So most believers leave the flow in their mind and not in their spirit. For example, your mind pulls you out of the flow by overthinking. Even though your spirit just was blessed in church, you just got a word, we just got centered yesterday, you feel encouraged. Now you are going into this place where you are feeling that you're overthinking it. Did I really get healed? Did I really get set free? Did I really? Then you overthinking, fear of missing it. You're afraid you're gonna miss your season. You're afraid you're gonna miss your time. You're afraid you're gonna miss the hour. Replaying past mistakes. I'm telling you, that replay used to come. That used to be, man, my life used to be on replay in my head for days at a time. That is not healthy. Trying to control outcomes, that's another thing that'll pull you out of the flow. You're trying to force it. I remember a time in college, and Father saved these young ladies, right? He saves just people on the college campus, right? And I used to have them. We would be in the dorm room. They'd be on their knees crying out to God, and I'm like, God, do it right now. And I'm almost quarreling with God because I'm saying you're supposed to do it right now. And it would appear as if they was touched, but not fully delivered, like it was still there. And then I would take them to different services. And when I would do that, I would be like, okay, Lord, I might can't do it, but somebody else, this person been saved for this long. This is a man of God, a woman of God. Do it for them, through this man of God, this prophet, this teacher, this evangelist, whatever, and sometimes it would just be stale. Sometimes it wouldn't even be a move. And I would have taken these girls there, believing God to do it for them. I mean, going before the throne to say, do it now. And I say this to say, I was trying to control the outcome. I was trying to control the outcomes because I wanted it to be done then. Got them baptized, took them to my home church, and all of this. And I wanted to see the results then. I wanted them to flourish then. It wasn't until years later, and just recently, a friend called me up, and she was one of the ladies that was saved during that time in my life, in that season. And she said, a lot of these people are living for God. A lot of these girls that you were crying out for, doing this, that they have something inside of them. They can never go back to the same, even though their life may be whatever. You deposit a seed, right? So I'm saying to you, we cannot try to control outcomes. And it's not that it wasn't God because we didn't see the flashing lights right then and there. It just means that there's times and there's seasons. Romans 8 verse 6 says, for to be carnal minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace. So when you're not getting peace, when you are close to losing your mind, baby, that means you're not spiritually in the flow, because spiritually minded is life and peace. Peace is the evidence that you're in the flow. It's the evidence. I want somebody to put that in the chat. Peace is the evidence that I'm in the flow. Now, how do we recognize the flow of God? You are in the flow when you when peace remains, right? Even when decisions are pending, when clarity comes after obedience. Because look, I'm telling you, this YouTube channel is strictly me being obedient. 49 days every single day. That's, I mean, my God, right? But clarity is coming to me. I am understanding that when you say yes to his will and yes to his way, things begin to work out for you in a faster way, in a greater way than you even expected. You're not rushing answers, right? You're not, oh God, you got to give it to me today, and you got to this and this and that and that. No, your resistance decreases, right? That's another sign instead of it increases. So when you are in the flow, that resistance decreases. So even though I want to go to sleep, even though I want to do other stuff, I got to make sure that I'm being faithful to do these videos, right? Because it's not forced, but it's in the flow. I would say that it's really in the flow of God. You feel grace supporting your steps, and that's what I feel. And just these few days, what we got, 16 days from day one, I had about 6 subscribers, if that. And now I have over 500 subscribers. And it's not even about the subscribers, it's really about being obedient, just being obedient. I was looking at the 6, so I really procrastinated and held off doing this because I'm like, well, Lord, who I only got 6 subscribers? Who's really going to be listening to me? Am I going to be really wasting my time? But look how, Father, when you in the flow, things just line up. Isaiah 30 says, verse 21, it says, this is the way, walk in it. God's flow guides us, not pressure us. It shows us the way. And what he did when I kept procrastinating, he brought synchronicities to me. He showed it through various people, through various signs. I'm telling you, random people, folks I had just met, friends I haven't talked to in many years, was like, YouTube. God wants you to do a podcast. He wants you to do YouTube. He wants you to do this. I mean, people all over the place was telling me this. And I was just like, this is the Lord telling me to flow with the yes. When you're in the flow, you feel grace supporting your steps. You feel it. You feel the grace supporting your steps. You feel that you are doing what Father wants you to do, what he called you to do. You feel that way. So, how do we remain in the flow? Step 1, we stay centered daily. Remember the exercise. I want you to do that daily. So centering is not a moment, it's a practice. It's something you have to be consistent in. So Isaiah 26 verse 3 says, you will keep him in perfect peace. Remember, you will keep me, remember you got to make it personable. You will keep me in perfect peace when my mind is stayed on you. That is your anchor. That is the anchor of being centered, is the peace of God. Not the peace of man, but the peace of God. Number 2, step 2 is to move out of to move only. Step 2 is to move only when peace leads you. If peace lifts, okay, then you pause. Soon you don't feel peace with it, you feel uneasy, you got to pause. I don't care who it is. It can be your best friend, it can be your spouse, it can be friends, it can be people on the job. When that peace leaves, you need to pause. You need to take a beat here. Colossians 3 verse 15 says, let the peace of God rule in your hearts. Make it personable. I allow the peace of God to rule in my heart. Make it personable. I allow it to move in my heart. Peace is the core of the flow. It's the core. Step 3, you're going to release outcome control. You're going to have to release. Remember I said a couple videos before that you need to get into the room of surrendering all. Listen to the surrender all on instrumental, listen to the words, get into the I surrender all. I viewed a clip by Oprah one time, and she said she was losing weight somewhere and she had wanted this role, which we now found out it was The Color Purple. And she hadn't heard anything. And she began to sing this song she heard in church, I surrender all. I surrender all to thee, my blessed Savior. I surrender all. So she had got in a place where she said, it's out of my hands. I surrender. So trying to control your results, it pulls you out of the flow. I want you to begin to surrender all. Just surrender all, right? Proverbs 3:5-6 says, trust in the Lord and lean not to their own understanding. Get out of trying to control outcomes. Flow requires trust. Somebody say, the flow of God requires trust. Put it in the chat so when somebody listen to this video, they're reading the comments. Flow requires trust. Step 4, act on the simple step. Okay, so flow doesn't give you the full maps, right? It only gives you the next steps. Okay, I remember in college, the Lord went and bought all these groceries. I mean, I was buying up some stuff, right? And when you are a college student, you are on a budget. You do your little work study, you get your little work study money, and that's pretty much it. And I bought all these groceries, some things I haven't bought in a long time or never tried before. And the Lord would tell me, go down this road, make a left, make a right, blah, blah, blah. He'd give me instructions and I'm just following it. I'm just saying, hey, I'm just gonna follow it. Let's see where it leads me. And it was a girl sitting out on the steps and she had her head down. I walk, he said, give her the groceries. I walk with these groceries to this girl and I tell her that God loves you. And I tell her that this is a gift that he wanted me to give her. And it was groceries. So sometimes it's just the small steps. You don't even know what the end is. You don't even know why you're doing it, but just take the steps. Take the next steps. Now, Psalms 119, verse 105 says, your word is a lamp to my feet. The lamp shows steps, not the whole road. Okay. Now, step 5, rest without guilt. Rest keeps you in the flow. You must rest yourself. It's not all about sleep all the time. It's really about, are you feeling rested? Sometimes you can get a little bit of sleep, you feel good. And then sometimes you can get a lot of sleep and still don't feel good. It's really about resting. So when you choose a day that you barely do anything, that's fine, baby. Rest yourself. Rest keeps you in the flow. Exodus 33, verse 14 says, my presence will go before you. It will go with you and I will give you rest. My presence will go with you and I will give you rest. Rest is the alignment. It's not a delay. You're not resting and, you makes you behind. You're resting because you're in the flow. So I want you to be in alignment. The things that you're most passionate about, you're super excited about, and you're not even insistent on any outcomes. You're not trying to control anything. You obey what brings peace. You trust God with results. You move without striving. You rest without fear. Hebrews 4:10-11 says, for he who have entered his rest has himself also ceased from his works. So when you enter to rest, you yourself have ceased from his works. That's a flow because you're now saying, okay, Father, all right, I'll meditate. I'll see what you want me to do, what you want me to say. I have to do that in order to stay in the flow of God. If I consistent think that I'm controlling something, boom, it's going to be a rude wake up call for you. Okay. So these are the exercises, right? Exercise 1, flow check. This is a daily thing. Remember, I'm always going to have a check for you. I'm always want the checks and balances. We must be held accountable. You're going to ask yourself, do I feel peace here? Am I forcing or am I flowing? I'm not saying when you have been used to religion so long that anything outside of that begins to make you wonder and that may not be God. No, baby. Anytime you are breaking up a pattern that you have been doing and you have constantly been doing for many years, it is going to take time to be able to get into a different pattern. Because when it's God, it comes organically. It's nothing you created for yourself, right? Did God initiate this? Or was it pressure? Did I feel pressure? Okay. And this is from a mature believer standpoint, not from a babe who's trying to figure out, can they hear the voice of God or not? Because the thing that you're supposed to do, right, you'll feel pressure if you're not careful, right? But it really is a mature, when I say kingdom son, you are more in a mature place to say, okay, is it peace here? Or am I forcing this? Or is this the flow of God? Right? Exercise 2. You're going to flow at a place that we're going to now do a reset. So we're going to call it the flow reset. Flow reset, the flow reset. And you're going to do this about 5 minutes or so. All right, you're going to sit still. You're going to breathe in slowly. Remember, the breath is important because this is how you center the body. This is how the body is now listening to the spirit because you're now putting it into alignment. And also, this is how it almost distracts the mind and the thinking and overthinking and overanalyzing because you're just focusing on the breath. Okay? Say aloud, I return to the flow of God. I return to the flow of God. And I want you to read Psalms 23, verses 2 to 3 out loud. Okay, that's exercise 2. Exercise 3 is have your flow journal. Okay, get a flow journal. You can get a notebook and put flow journal. Okay, I want you to write, where do I feel, or where did I feel grace today? Where did I feel grace today? Where did I feel resistance today? What does peace invite me to do next? Father, what does your peace wants me to do next from today to tomorrow? What is it? What should I be doing? Okay. So I want to speak and decree and declare over your life that you will enter into this flow, that you will take the strategies, take the exercises, take this teaching and apply it immediately to your life. I decree and declare right now that you're striving in purpose, that you're moving in grace, that the grace of Father is carrying you through, that you feel that you are in the flow. I speak and decree and declare that your steps are ordered by the will and the purpose of the Father. No longer are you forcing doors to open for your sake. No longer are you outrunning grace and feeling as you are chasing your day, but life is flowing on your behalf. I want you to make that declaration. Life is flowing on my behalf. I'm entering to the river that flows. I'm re-entering to this flow state. I decree and declare that you are moving with God, that you're walking in divine order. You're walking in the divine flow of God. I speak and decree and declare that you live in the flow of God, and peace leads you and guides you. Grace carries you through this. I decree and declare right now that you're moving with ease in Jesus' name. So I want you to put in the chat, I choose the flow. Do you choose the flow? Do you choose to be in the flow of God? Do you choose to walk in his will and in his way? Do you choose to stand assured of his word? Do you choose this life that says, even though it may seem as I'm losing, I know that I'm in the purpose of God. Even if it looks like I'm being defeated, I'm not, because everything is working for my good. Are you choosing this day who you will serve, who you will flow with? If you choose this day, things will work out for you. And I speak to and decree and declare that you're healed for real. You're set free for real. You are in the flow of God for real. You are standing for real. You are knowing who your Father is for real, not by accident, for real. This is your season. This is your time. Again, I am Lady Cordia Bishop, and it has given me great pleasure to share with you with remaining in the flow of God. Until tomorrow, till next time, I'll see you. God bless.